You're sitting in a waiting room. Nothing is happening. The clock on the wall moves, but barely. You've already checked your phone 3 times in the last 2 minutes. You've read the same poster on the wall twice, and somewhere deep inside your chest, there's this quiet, creeping discomfort. Like something is wrong. Like you should be doing something. Like existing here, right now, in this moment is almost unbearable. That feeling has a name, and it might be the strangest thing about being human. No other animal on this planet experiences it the way you do. A dog left in a room doesn't feel it. A crow perched on a wire doesn't feel it. A chimpanzee resting in the shade, doing nothing, is not suffering. But you, sitting in that waiting room, are. And the question of why tells you something profound about what your brain actually is, where it came from, and what it was built to do. Boredom is not laziness. It is not weakness. It is one of the most uniquely human experiences that exists, and scientists are only now beginning to understand why. Let's start with what boredom actually is. Not how it feels, but what is happening inside your skull when it hits. Psychologist John Eastwood at York University spent years studying boredom and arrived at a definition that sounds simple, but isn't. Boredom, he found, is the frustrated desire for satisfying engagement. It is not the absence of stimulation. It is the awareness that your current situation cannot give your mind what it is looking for. Your brain wants to engage. It is reaching for something, and nothing in the room qualifies. That gap between what your mind is seeking and what the world is offering, that is boredom. And that gap, it turns out, requires something remarkable to exist at all. It requires self-awareness. To be bored, you have to be able to step outside of your own experience and evaluate it. You have to notice that you are not engaged. You have to compare the present moment to some imagined other moment where you would be engaged. That act of watching yourself from the outside, of simulating a better or worse version of your current reality, is called metacognition, and almost no other animal on Earth can do it. When researchers test for metacognition in other species, the results are startling. Great apes show limited signs of it. Dolphins and elephants show faint traces, but the kind of rich, continuous self-monitoring that allows you to evaluate your own mental state, label it, and feel dissatisfied by it, that is almost exclusively human. And it appears, according to neuroscientist Antonio Damasio, to be tied directly to the evolution of the prefrontal cortex, that thick ridge of neural tissue just behind your forehead, the part of your brain that makes you unmistakably you. Your prefrontal cortex is the most recently evolved structure in the human brain. It handles planning, self-reflection, abstract thought, and the simulation of futures that do not yet exist. It is the organ of imagination, and imagination, it turns out, is the source of boredom. Think about that for a moment. Other animals live inside the present. They respond to what is, but your brain constantly generates what could be. While you sit in that waiting room, your prefrontal cortex is running simulations. It is imagining conversations you could be having, problems you could be solving, things you could be building, reading, creating, fixing. It is not content to simply be. It is always reaching forward, and when nothing in the current environment gives it somewhere to reach, when there is no problem to solve, no danger to respond to, no social bond to maintain, no future to plan, it turns inward, it monitors itself, and it does not like what it finds. This is where it gets stranger, because boredom is not just discomfort, it is a signal. Researcher Sandy Mann at the University of Central Lancashire found something that no one expected when she began studying boredom. She discovered that boredom consistently precedes creativity. When she induced boredom in her test subjects by having them copy numbers from a phone book for extended periods, those subjects subsequently performed significantly better on divergent thinking tasks. Their imaginations became more active. Their ability to generate novel ideas improved. Boredom, she concluded, is not a state of emptiness. It is a state of pressure. Your mind, starved of external input, begins to generate its own. So here is the counterintuitive truth. The discomfort you feel in that waiting room is not your brain failing. It is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is searching. It is pushing. It is refusing to accept stillness because stillness for most of human history was dangerous. Go back 100,000 years. You are not in a waiting room. You are in a landscape. And in that landscape, stillness means one of two things. It means you are resting after effort, which is acceptable and brief. Or it means nothing is happening, which in the ancient world almost never lasted long before something did happen. Predators, weather, rival groups, resource scarcity. Your ancestors who sat still for long periods and felt fine doing it did not pass that trait down. The ones who survived were the ones who became uncomfortable when nothing was happening, who looked for the next thing, who planned ahead, who solved problems before they arrived. Boredom is the evolutionary echo of that drive. It is your brain's way of saying, this is not enough. Find more, do more, build more. It was never meant to feel pleasant. It was meant to move you, and it did. Some anthropologists now argue that boredom, this uniquely human discomfort, may be one of the hidden engines behind human civilization itself. Researcher Andreas Elpidiru at the University of Louisville calls boredom a regulatory state, a motivational tool built into the operating system of the human mind. When your environment cannot engage you, your mind generates its own engagement. You invent things. You tell stories. You build tools. You make art. Every human innovation in history begins with a mind that was not satisfied by what already existed. The cave paintings of Lascaux, the first stone tools, the wheel, writing, mathematics. Every one of them began as a mind refusing to accept the present as sufficient. You don't usually think of boredom this way. You think of it as something to escape, something to scroll through, something to fill with noise so you don't have to sit inside it. And that instinct is understandable. The discomfort is real. But what you are escaping from every time you reach for your phone to avoid it is one of the most powerful cognitive forces that makes you human. Here's what makes modern boredom different from ancient boredom, though. In the ancient world, boredom led to action because action was available and necessary. There was always something to build, to hunt, to repair, to plan. The signal fired and you responded. Today, the signal fires inside an environment where the easiest available response is not creation. It is consumption. You don't build something. You watch something. You don't solve a problem. You scroll past 10,000 of them. The signal is the same. The environment has changed. And this is why chronic boredom, the kind that doesn't lead anywhere and is associated in modern research with depression, anxiety, and a deep sense of meaninglessness. Not because boredom itself causes those things, but because a brain built to be activated by discomfort and move toward creation, when placed in an environment where it is soothed instead of activated, begins to turn on itself. The pressure has nowhere to go. John Eastwood's research found that people who frequently experience boredom are not people who lack stimulation. They are people who have lost the ability to connect their attention to meaningful activity. The problem is not the absence of things to do. The problem is the disconnection between the restless, searching mind and something worth searching for. You were built to be dissatisfied. That dissatisfaction was the engine, but the engine needs a direction. No other animal on this planet lies awake at night wondering if its life is meaningful. No other animal looks at the stars and asks what is out there. No other animal builds a civilization because it was bored one afternoon and started wondering if there was a better way. That animal is you. That restlessness is yours. And the next time you feel it, that quiet, creeping discomfort in a silent room, you don't have to run from it. You don't have to fill it immediately. You can sit inside it for just a moment longer than is comfortable and ask it what it wants to build. Because somewhere in that discomfort is the same force that painted the cave walls at Lascaux, that carved the first wheel out of stone, that looked up at the sky and refused to believe the horizon was the end. You are sitting in a waiting room. Nothing is happening. And your brain, ancient, restless, magnificent, is already building the next thing.